Almost every time that I've come across the conversation about old movies or TV shows, the nostalgia aspect comes up almost immediately after simply mentioning the title. But then there eventually arrives that statement that I'm sure most of us have heard time and time again. Hey yo, that joint was dope, but this would never get made today, bro. Now, while I understand why many would say that, given today's climate, at the same time I gotta ask, is that really true though? Now hear me out real quick. Think back to a past decade, right? About as far back as the 80s. And think about all the movies and TV shows that were around back then. Until somewhere up to the early 2010s. Think about everything that you liked about those shows and then ask yourself, why do you think those shows or movies, quote unquote, couldn't be made today? When statements like that are made, it's usually applied to things that would be considered controversial or offensive or edgy or unfit for modern audiences, basically saying that because people nowadays are more vocal about their gripes with something, it wouldn't be very likely that such narratives would survive very long. When you think of shows, right, where things like blackface, Asian face, Latin face, and all these different kinds of racial stereotypes and caricatures that were acceptable parts of Western cinema at the time, it honestly makes sense as to why so many people would want those tropes and narratives to stay in the decade that they were made in. But then you think of other shows that were made that would also be considered unfit for modern audiences in other ways. Shows like In Living Color, The Jeffersons, Scrubs, Married with Children, The Honeymooners, Ally McBeal, The Office, Sanford and Son, The Boondocks, so on and so on, right? Then there's movies like Blazing Saddles, Tropic Thunder, Norbit, The Life of Brian, and other Monty Python movies. I mean, it even applies with anime. AKIRA, Angel Cop, Devilman, Violence Jack, Perfect Blue, Tokyo Godfathers, Wicked City, Genocyber, Ninja Scroll. Think of any high-octane, ultra-violent 80s and 90s anime, and you pretty much get the point. You hear people say that they could never make a movie like that today. They could never make a show like that today. They could never make an anime like that today. And it makes you wonder, is this stuff really as true as people say it is? My honest answer, I don't think so. See, I believe that many of the narratives of the past could still be made today, simply because this idea that the collective of human society has long since moved past certain mindsets and ideologies, and the things that were considered funny, cool, or interesting are now pretty much irrelevant in today's world is honestly nonsensical, because there are still, even till this day, more recent pieces of cinema with much of the same content that many would deem as offensive or cancel worthy in today's time. Now, maybe not blackface levels of offensive, but offensive in other ways, which I'll talk about in a while. Anyway, you see, many people would still regard many of the aforementioned pieces of media as entertaining, even today. And no, I'm not talking about people within Gen X and baby boomers. I'm talking about specifically millennial and Gen Z media consumers. Believe it or not, many of those who would be considered to be the quote-unquote young people also find things produced in past decades as entertaining as the generation before them, which shouldn't be too hard to believe, since there are people in the younger generations who are even into music and fashion trends that came out in past decades that they weren't even born in. Now, a question that's somewhat asked regarding if certain past media could be made today is, has society gotten overly soft and sensitive? Has humor changed? Have opinions towards certain types of content changed? Personally, I think it's a bit of all these different things. Now, sensitive people have always been around. It's just louder these days. Now, I'm pretty sure those of us who grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s are quite familiar with those unbearably overly sensitive ass crybaby ass kids who literally cry for pretty much anything, including the stuff that doesn't even warrant tears. They'll start crying because you were playing tag and you tagged them too hard, even though you barely touched they punk ass.
I ain't even touched this motherfucker yet. I ain't even brushed past you yet. I ain't even make eye contact with your punk ass.
Bro, I'm talking, they were so unbearably sensitive to the point that most people didn't even want to play with them. Just these old cotton swab, baby shit, soft ass tattletales that'll tell on your ass because the teacher said no gum chewing in class and they saw you chewing a piece of gum. But anyway, some things are only relevant in the decade that they were popular in. Certain jokes have a shorter shelf life than others. I mean, these are constants, regardless of what generation you're talking about. Certain things that had people rolling on the floor or hype back in 2014 are not going to have the same effect in 2024, simply because it ran its course. Likewise, the stuff that's funny or relevant in current year 2024 ain't gonna have that same effect in 2034 or 2044 because that stuff will have also ran its course. It's kind of like chewing a piece of fruit stripe gum. When you first eat it, that shit be bomb as hell for about 10 chews, and then after that you just chewing on a piece of rubber. Not even a comedian like Dave Chappelle can expect to keep telling the exact same joke over and over and over and over and over. Eventually the crowd's gonna stop laughing because the joke's been done already. The shock value is gone, and it's already been established that you're willing to go there. So what else you got, bro? You can't be expecting to impress the ladies with your French skills when it's clear that the only thing you know how to say is omelette de fromage. One-trick ponies don't have much longevity is what I'm saying. Now right here, I'm about to just vent for a minute, so if you want to skip this part, I'ma timestamp it. Now see, something that needs to be addressed is the selective morality and the selective outrage when regarding things that some people would say is offensive. Many of the same people who will come out their face saying that certain types of material, certain types of jokes, or certain types of words are not okay will oftentimes be the same people who display the very same traits that they just said were undesirable. That also includes those who claim to be the most progressive people of the century. They'll say that it's not okay to talk about the way someone looks, but they'll do it anyway. They'll say that it's not okay to make fun of someone for being different, but they'll do it anyway. People should never force their beliefs onto other people, but then here they go trying to force their beliefs onto other people and then trying to vilify them for not joining the hive mind. It's not okay to slut shame, but it's perfectly fine to try to shame someone for either being a virgin or not having recently gotten some business. The point is, they don't live by their own words, which is funny because these be the same people who try to paint themselves as the good guys. Everything that they claim to be against, they're actually very much okay with it, either depending on the situation or their mood, or they're okay with certain behaviors if they're the ones dishing it out. So long as things are one way and never the other way around, it's fine by them. Like for example, body shaming is a terrible thing if it happens to a woman, but if it happens to a man,
that ain't no problem. Huh? That ain't no problem.
I mean, shit, we could sit up here and make short jokes, fat jokes, dick jokes, bald jokes, any joke you can think of regarding men's bodies. It's only a cardinal sin when it's the other way around. Prime example, right? Back when Meg Thee Stallion got shot and old boy got arrested, bet money motherfuckers had no problem making short jokes about this nigga, did they? So short ass, stunted ass, dwarf ass, midget ass, bite sized, ball spot having ass nigga. Last time I checked, that's called body shaming. But I bet those people couldn't care less, and sure, they'll try to cover it up by saying, no. It's because he hurt someone. That's the reason why we said what we said. However, there are guys who don't hurt anyone and will get insults of the same nature thrown at them all the same. A fat chick can sit up here and say that she's not interested in fat men, right? And people will back up saying, and she can like what she likes. She doesn't have to like guys who are the same body type as her, and just because she's overweight, that don't mean she shouldn't get to have a guy who's in shape, right? But soon as a fat dude says he's not interested in fat women, mind you, he's not dissing those women. He's just saying he's not attracted to them. All of a sudden,
nigga, what the fuck you think you look like? With all them fucking fat folds and man titties all up on your torso? When the last time you even seen your own dick, nigga?
So hold up. A woman can have preferences for a man even if she doesn't match up herself. But a man better match up just to have the right to have the audacity to have a preference?
What kind of shit is that?
A woman can make jokes about a dude's beef being small or shaped weird, or even make jokes about erectile dysfunction and hair loss and shit. And people, both men and women, will repaint their underwears laughing at that shit. And anybody who gets in their feelings about it, especially if it's a dude, just gets told to shut up, stop being a bitch, lighten up, it's just a joke, right? But as soon as a man makes a joke about vaginas, I'm saying people magically turn into a legion of professional gynecologists in the comment section, pulling out diagrams and citing sources and shit, talking about you need to learn about women's bodies instead of making such ignorant jokes like that. Only a nigga that get no coochie would say something like that. I mean, I thought these were just jokes, so shut up, stop being a bitch, and lighten up, right? People will say stuff like it's not okay to make jokes or insults about a person's sexual orientation. However, many of the same people who will say this will in the same breath call a dude gay as an insult, because I don't know, maybe dude had an opinion that they weren't a fan of. Like for example, that old goofy ass dating show where they pop balloons. There's an episode, right, where there's a woman and some of the dudes, or maybe all of them, can't remember exactly, they end up popping their balloons because the woman didn't meet certain standards or preferences that they had, or I don't know, maybe they were just things they just didn't like about it. Now mind you, most of the time whenever a dude walks out, the female participants pop their balloons in unison damn near. And this is before the dude can even say his damn name, bro. Whole thing sounds like somebody having a shootout with firecrackers, bro. But as soon as the dudes pop their balloons, hella people was in the comment section talking about,
hey yo, them niggas probably gay or some shit. Hey yo, that nigga fruity, that nigga zesty, that nigga sus.
You get the gist. Now, personally, I don't care if that's how they feel. I'm just saying it's pretty damn weird that many of those same people will then act all preachy and will want to jump out their face to call other dudes insecure or some kind of istaphobe for saying the same shit but in a different situation. But when it's a situation like this, it's perfectly fine to do exactly what they jumped at somebody else for doing. I mean, think about it. There's some women out here that'll have a whole ass entourage full of male friends who are part of the rainbow flag crowd, right? But let this broad get into an argument with the man and sooner or later she'll end up playing that classic Let me attack this nigga's sexuality as an argument tactic card. And for my next move, I place my nigga if you gay just say that card in attack mode. I play this card whenever I'm losing an argument to a straight man. It allows me to verbally attack his sexuality by accusing him of being a homosexual, even though there's no evidence to support such a claim. But you'd be sorely mistaken if you thought this was about telling the truth or making sense. The point is to simply piss off my opponent as much as I can. Getting an emotional response not only allows me to stroke my own ego, but it also helps me to cope with the fact that I'm not as intelligent or emotionally mature as I claim to be. But you wanna know what's funny about the chicks who are like that though? Oftentimes these same types of women who can't wait to throw a "nigga you gay" onto a dude that she don't like will at the same time have some of the most obviously lesbian tendencies, bro. I cannot be the only one who notices this shit. Talking about when her boyfriend turns around to look at a girl ass, she turn around and look too. I mean, like, bro, she'll be doing some shit like this with other females, but then be talking about she's straight.
Bitch, please.
They want to talk about just because the bitch want to experiment with other girls, that don't mean she not straight no more. You know, a dude would never get away with saying even a decimal of that stupid shit. But it's funny that they should say that because that's the exact same kind of logic that dudes who was clapping dudes in prison like to use.
Talking about, hell no, I ain't gay, nigga. Nigga, I love the pussy. It's just that sometimes I just get the urge to go up in niggas' asses, that's all.
This nigga gay as hell.
And of course, you know there's never gonna be a shortage of short bus niggas that just can't wait to defend this goofy shit talking about,
Bro, like that's just how the females play with each other, bro.
the straight ones? You sure about that? Cause the straight women I know don't even like pressing up against other women when they give them a hug. They'll like try to shift themselves to the side a little bit. But these other broads though, that y'all claim are part of the Strictly Dickly squad, they be hugging each other damn near box to box. They be so damn close that they period sync up like your homeboy's Wi-Fi at your girlfriend crib. Now don't get me wrong, I don't give a shit about nobody bedroom activities. I'm just saying a chick like that sounds just a little bit incredibly retarded calling a dude gay as an insult. Meanwhile, she's quite clearly gay her damn self. That's like you calling somebody broke, meanwhile y'all both live in the same project building. Another example of selective outrage and offensiveness are the wannabe part-time superheroes who are villains any other time of the day. I mean, like, it's crazy, right, how they have a problem with somebody joking on and making fun of a dude that cross-dresses, for example, because, well, he's not bothering anyone and it's not nice to make fun of someone for being different. But then they will sit up here and say to the anime nerd, we didn't bully you because you like anime, we bullied you because you ran like Naruto to the lunchroom. So you're implying that you're okay with bullying so long as the people that you're not okay with being bullied aren't being bullied.
Ain't that some shit?
Bullying the anime nerd is perfectly fine, right? Because it ain't that deep, it's just jokes, you being mad sensitive. But as soon as a comedian makes a gay joke or some shit, now y'all want to turn into the Avengers all of a sudden. Just saying, it's cool to bully and joke about the nerd because it's funny, even though the nerd ain't fucking with nobody either. He just minding his business being different. But the crossdresser is off limits? Why is that? What's so special about this motherfucker? He's just a person like everyone else, right? So why is he the exception? And of course, some people might try to say that making jokes like that about people like them helps to perpetuate the violence that such people end up experiencing in the real world. And of course, people will use this argument about other things like domestic abuse and why it's not okay to make jokes about that subject matter. But honestly, I have to disagree with that because that shit sounds ridiculous. A man who beats his girlfriend or wife does so because he's an abusive piece of shit, not because he saw a skit from Long Beach Griffey or Try Rags and then thought that, well, because somebody made a joke about it, now he's justified in carrying out his misdeeds. That is not how crime or any kind of evil works. Deviants do the things they do because not everyone is a good person, nor do they care to be a good person. They don't commit these crimes because they're mentally ill or because nobody ever told them that it was wrong or because they're unaware that what they're doing is a bad thing. No, these motherfuckers are completely cognizant and they couldn't care less. That's why prison is necessary, or 12 gates to the temple, whichever works better. Anyway, jokes don't cause the dark subject matter that inspires them. Parody or satire cannot exist without the source that inspires it. You can't make jokes about toxic relationships if toxic relationships aren't a thing to begin with. Jokes about bad relationships are not the catalyst for them, but bad relationships are the reason why there are jokes about bad relationships. Now, oftentimes do storytellers and comedians use their own bad experiences as a way to tell a joke that'll make people laugh, assuming the joke is done properly, because oftentimes some of the funniest jokes come from a place of pain. It's really not all that different from black comedians who may talk about their experiences with racism or some other kind of crazy stuff that they went through in their personal life. Now, in hindsight, it's funny as hell, but at the time, I'm pretty sure it was either scary or very infuriating stuff to go through. I mean, I'm pretty sure plenty of y'all done went through something that's funny as hell now when you talk about it, but at the time, it was pretty damn intense. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that certain people don't get physically accosted or even flat out killed by people who clearly hate them. What I'm saying is that it's nonsensical to say that there's some kind of a correlation between making a skit or joke about a category of people and someone who's made it their business to take the lives of said people. A joke about a group of people isn't going to make someone attack and hate those people if they didn't already feel that way to begin with. Saying people who make certain types of jokes contributes to the mistreatment and violence that certain people face is just as ridiculous as blaming Mortal Kombat and Grand Theft Auto for why people get into fights and commit crimes. Niggas been brawling with each other since forever, and all that school shooter trench coat mafia shit happened way before the San Andreas came out. I've been playing Super Mario games for over 20 years, and never once have I ever gotten the urge to stomp on a damn turtle. Even if you wanted to blame something like gangster rap and drill music for glorifying gang culture, neither genre is the progenitor of gang culture. Gangs predate all that shit. I mean, if anything, it just gave it a soundtrack and made the lifestyle seem fun or cool to people who don't live it but fantasize about living it while they listen to certain types of music. I mean, let's be real. Motherfuckers was out here doing drive-bys with jazz and funk music blasting out the car radio. Yet, I don't hear people trying to blame James Brown for motherfuckers who got lit up back in the 1960s. Art is often reflective of the era that it's created in. Sure, some rap music does glorify the dark side as well as the many character flaws within black society like it's something to brag about. But other rap music either talks about it as a cautionary tale or it speaks against that. Oftentimes do people choose to look at a piece of art or media and interpret it in a way that it was not intended to be interpreted. Even if the creator of said art or media blatantly says what the point of it all was, there are people who will still say, nah, I think it means this. This even includes people who swear that they're the most media literate people, but really they're just projecting their own ideas and fantasies onto the story. No, because like there's like a lot of nuances and subtleties that you're not getting, and there's like a lot of subtleties of the nuances and the nuanced subtleties.
Shut your stupid.
I'm sure you ran into this example if you watch anime and read online discussions about them, right? There's some people within the anime fandom who, whenever they see that there's two characters of the same sex and they have a close relationship with each other, these motherfuckers be itching to say that this somehow implies that there's something sexual or romantic going on between them. Even if the characters' sexualities are blatantly stated, they'll try to insist otherwise, that it's actually something else, as if their word is law or some shit. Because according to the smooth brain folk, things like friendship or kinship don't exist between characters of the same sex. Perfect example of this being Frodo and Sam from Lord of the Rings. You got these internet cretins just swearing up and down that these two are actually a couple, but you know, Tolkien didn't think the world was ready for that just yet.
Man, what the fuck is you talking about?
What the fuck was that?
I'm sorry, man.
You really think somebody as devoted to their faith as Tolkien was about to write some yaoi subplot for a bunch of Fujoshi bitches to gush over?
Man, sit your ass down.
People like this will reach like Mr. Fantastic to try to say that a character is quote-unquote queer-coded, when in reality they're just either projecting their own sexual orientation or fantasies onto a story or characters that they wish were like that. Because apparently claiming the characters across various mediums who actually are coded or implied or just flat out confirmed to be on that side of the fence ain't good enough for them. I guess it's more fun for them to try to hijack stories and characters who aren't like that because, you know, I guess it gets them more attention. I've heard them say some shit about Spider-Man being a coded character, even though Peter Parker been parking his Peter with nothing but pussy this entire time, but whatever. The only way to deal with the delusional parts of every fandom is to ignore them. And then to make a slightly different part of this argument, you even have some black people who want to insist that the Saiyans and Namekians are representations of black people within the Dragon Ball universe, even though it's highly unlikely that Akira Toriyama was even thinking about black people when he created those races. Yet they'll still insist that their headcanon is actual canon. But whatever, just because motherfuckers shout things out from the top of their lungs, that don't mean it's true. It just means motherfuckers are stubborn as hell and they love to reach. Now, there are many stories about villains and cautionary tale type characters as the protagonists, and anybody with an average brain can tell that the author isn't trying to make these characters come off as heroic or role models. Yet that hasn't stopped some people from viewing them as such. You're not supposed to admire Tyler Durden or Patrick Bateman or Darth Vader or Homelander or the Joker or Yujiro Hanuma or Light Yagami. Yet that has not stopped some people from looking at them as role models. It's one thing to like them as characters, but to see them as something to aspire to is completely just missing the point of the narratives that they're setting. The point is, you can only control how you act. You cannot control how other people react to how you act. You can say something so simple and so straightforward, and yet some idiot will make it their business to intentionally misinterpret what you said. The same way you got dickheads on the internet who love to spread misinformation on purpose. I doubt Griffey and Tri-Rags are trying to perpetuate or glorify any kind of hatred or violence towards anybody. They just wrote some scripts, picked up a camera, made some skits. But trying to insist that them and people like them are trying to push some kind of murderous agenda because you don't like their material is just ridiculous. You can't make assumptions like that based on that alone, unless they've made some kind of real world statements that would imply that they have such an agenda. Like, for example, you have the white supremacists who write up manifestos about protecting and preserving the white race. They post it all over racist chat rooms and certain social media groups and other types of forums, and then drive their asses to black neighborhoods, running up in supermarkets and churches looking to take black people off the census. Now, with that kind of evidence, I'd say it's pretty damn fair to say that someone like that has a hateful and murderous agenda towards a group of people. That's the type of shit right there that I would say actually glorifies and perpetuates violence against someone, because it's not only just words, it's also backed up by physical actions. They wrote a manifesto, put graphics on the shit, they mass posted it to every forum full of people who think just like them, and then physically carried out the violent actions that they stated in said manifesto. And then guess what? The other supremacists who end up seeing them on the news will look at them as some kind of hero, and then they'll feel inspired to go out and do the exact same shit. It wasn't black jokes that made them go out and commit mass murder. It was their hatred of black people that made them do that. Someone who hates you for simply existing does not need you to give them a reason to hit you with some violence. You drawing breath is the reason. That's why I'll be looking at some black people sideways who say dumb shit like,
see, this is exactly why white people treat us the way they treat us.
Man, sit your dumb ass down.
Another example of how some people get selectively offended and outraged at things would be grape jokes. Now, there's skits, right, where a male character is basically being sexually harassed or flat out raped, and many people in the comment section will say how much it made their sides hurt and shit. Now, some guys will voice their gripes about it, but will soon get clowned by not only the viewers, but even the person who made the skit. Now, if you've ever seen the show Snowfall, right, there's a scene where it's not shown, but it's definitely heard, that a male character is getting duped up behind closed doors against his will. And I've seen the comment sections on that video clip with people talking about how that scene had them in tears from laughing so hard, but then there was some people talking about how they wouldn't be laughing if it was a female character that shit happened to. Some people in the comments was like,
damn, y'all acting mad butthurt over the scene like y'all was the ones getting violated. Damn, bro, chill, it ain't even that serious. It's not even real. It's a TV show.
Yada yada yada, right? But Pete, if it was a female character, they wouldn't be laughing, and their way of trying to justify their selective outrage would be,
it ain't funny cause it happens in real life too.
Right, as if such a crime has never had male victims, be it grown-ass men or little boys. Now, if you watch Invincible, spoiler alert for those of you who haven't read the comics, maybe skip about 30 seconds ahead if you don't want to hear this next part. So anyway, the character Anissa, at some point in the comics, ends up violating Mark. I mean, she straight up overpowers him somehow, and ends up forcing the claim onto the cucumber. Then later on, gets pregnant off of that and has a son as a result. Now, you got some people who say that Anissa quote-unquote redeemed herself at the end of the story, even though she said herself that she doesn't regret or feel bad about what she did to Mark. And because she's not only a female, but she's depicted as a physically attractive female, you got these airheaded motherfuckers who think that it wasn't all that bad and basically thinks that Anissa should get some kind of pass. Because the way they see it,
damn, yo, that nigga Mark got lucky as hell, bro. I wish Anissa did that shit to me, bro.
But as usual, let that shit have been the other way around and watch these smooth brains who got off on the original version start trying to play superhero now. Another example, right? You have skits. It could have like a woman who's beating the hell out of a man, right? And because it's for comedic effect, the comment section be full of laughs, right? And honestly, I don't even mind these kinds of skits, because if they're funny, then I'm gonna laugh too. But let it be a skit. Mind you, it's still in the genre of comedy, and it's the man who's whooping the woman's ass for comedic effect. You'll have some people laughing, and then you'll have others talking about,
so promoting violence against women is okay now?
With anime, it's the same case, because you got female characters that'll smack the shit out of a dude with a pipe for comedic effect. But soon as a male character slaps a female character for comedic effect, all of a sudden that shit goes from being a joke to being an invite to have an argument about social issues. Even if the joke is about domestic abuse, right? A skit where the woman is the abuser is laughed off because it's just a joke. But if the skit is about a male abuser, oh, suddenly this is no laughing matter because women get abused in real life. Motherfucker, male abuse victims aren't exactly unheard of. And yes, it happens at the hands of either their girlfriend or their wife. But see, the difference is that many of both men and women don't take it nearly as seriously and will call a dude a bitch ass nigga for getting beat on and not defending himself against a woman. But if he does defend himself, he's a bitch ass nigga. If he calls the cops, he's a bitch ass nigga. If he takes her to court, he's a bitch ass nigga. Gets a restraining order, he's a bitch ass nigga. No matter what option he takes.
He is a pussy punk bitch!
Damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. If a dude kills his girlfriend or his wife because she cheated on him, right? People will call him every name in the book, both old and new edition. Bitch ass nigga, weak ass nigga, baby toe dick ass nigga, pissy balls ass nigga. Just cause she cheated, that don't give you the right to take her life, nigga. Bitch ass nigga should've just left. and just got with a different woman. You should have chose a better woman. Which, in all honesty, is all true. Just because she cheated and he's mad about it, that doesn't mean he had the right to take her life. But then, let the situation be that it's the woman who kills the man because he cheated on her. Which, for the record, yes, that does happen. Hell, there's been several times where it's been recorded on camera and posted on Facebook or Twitter. And then the crazy thing is that in the comment sections of those videos, you got motherfuckers who are like,
well, shit, he probably deserved it. Oh, well, shouldn't have cheated. You niggas gotta stop playing with these women's hearts, bro.
What?
I mean, what the hell happened to...
Just because you got cheated on, that don't mean you got the right to take somebody's life.
See, this is yet another reason why I say that not everybody deserves to be taken seriously, because not everybody who criticizes something does so because they're a good person who cares about what's morally right and wrong. Some people are genuinely good people, or at least try to be, and they care about doing the right thing. Other people are just pretentious assholes who only have a problem with something when it doesn't align with their personal standards, worldviews, or biases. So long as something aligns with what they're okay with, they'll allow it, even if something is objectively wrong and even irrational. Because it aligns with their own view of the world, they couldn't care less. Even if you call them a hypocrite about it, they'll claim it proudly, which is why personally, I think people like that can go smoke a dick laced with fentanyl. Anyway, you have people who rant about female characters in the video game or anime being sexualized, right? But then will cheer on real life women who sexualize themselves. Matter of fact, when there's men who speak against women sexualizing themselves, like half-naked IG models and female rappers with the super sexual lyrics, as usual, internet motherfuckers will just call them gay for saying that shit. Wow, I can't believe so many supposedly straight men have a problem with something like this. But then as soon as a female character design like Bayonetta or 2B shows up, suddenly you have a bunch of these same goofballs losing their damn marbles over it. That's not even realistic. Like, no woman looks like that.
The male gaze strikes again.
I can't believe you guys are blushing over a fictional female character. It's crazy how they'll complain about female character designs being sexual, but then those same characters end up being some of the most cosplayed female characters by female cosplayers. Like, what is the point of complaining about the shit when you know damn well your ass is about to wear that exact same outfit to the next Comic-Con or DreamCon? I mean, like, bruh, I've seen female cosplayers, not all of them, take a female character who's quite covered up, right? And will be like, how can I hoify this costume? First it was Lara Croft from Tomb Raider that got backlash, then it was Bayonetta who got backlash, then it was 2B from Nier Automata who got backlash, and now it's the chick from this new joint called Stellar Blade that got motherfuckers popping blood vessels. Rhea Ripley doing some sexually suggestive, obviously beyond PG rated movements in the ring.
That ain't no problem. Huh? That ain't no problem.
Meg Thee Stallion making it clap on Instagram Live.
Nice.
But 2D anime women or 3D video game women having some chest and booty meat on them.
That is blasphemous!
And no, I'm not talking about any of this lolicon BS where niggas be like,
Nah, it's cool, bro. Even though she looks like a toddler, she's like 90 billion years old, so it's cool for me to get the stiffy.
I'm talking about grown-ass adult female characters looking schmexy. So let me get this right. Real life, flesh and blood human women being hypersexual is cool. But fictional women being hypersexual is the problem.
Man, sit your ass down.
Last example would be fights between men and women. And before some single-digit IQ having ass cretin tries to misconstrue the point, no, we're not talking about a woman getting attacked on the street. We're not talking about a woman being in any kind of abusive situation whatsoever. We're talking about a fight between a male and a female fighter. Two people who decided to square up and throw the hands. Anyway, whether it's fiction or real life, motherfuckers are only okay with a physical altercation between a man and a woman playing out as long as it plays out in a very specific way. Basically, it's only okay as long as the woman wins the fight. Take those, I grew up slapboxing with my 10 brothers and I love fighting boys type of broads, for instance, right? Motherfuckers will talk about how she's stronger and tougher than any man that they've ever seen, how gender has no relevance when it comes to physical strength and toughness, talk about how she's built different and can beat up 100 niggas with both hands and feet tied behind her back. But soon as that same chick ends up losing a fight to a man that she couldn't beat, all of a sudden she goes from being a built different warrior woman to just being a girl who got beat up. Her being a woman miraculously has relevance once she takes an L. Even though it was a fight, people will view her in the same light as a woman who's a victim of abuse. They not gonna say, damn, it looks like two fighters threw hands and the better fighter won. Nah, she's just a victim now. Motherfuckers start talking about,
nigga, you think you tough for beating up a girl? A real man wouldn't fight a woman anyway.
That's how fake these motherfuckers are. Y'all only believe that a woman is strong, tough, badass, and all that other stuff so long as the illusion that her ass is unkickable is maintained. She could whoop dudes' asses in the most brutal ways imaginable and the crowd will cheer for it. But soon as she's on the receiving end of that same energy, motherfuckers start talking about,
But that's a female though.
I thought she was built different.
But that's a female though.
I thought her being a woman was irrelevant.
But that's a female though.
It's crazy how these same people will look at the shonen genre, right? Not even Shonen Jump, but the stories within that demographic itself, right? And we'll see these brutal and bloody ass action scenes and fight scenes, and we'll say,
there needs to be more women in this type of stuff. They need to be part of the action too.
but as soon as there are women involved in these same scenes, and instead of them being this unbeatable Mary Sue, they get the paws put on them just like the male characters do. These goofy ass clown ass niggas want to start crying talking about
They doing too much. They went too far, bro.
with fighting games back in the day. It was the same thing. I wish there were more female characters in fighting games. Then the developers was like, all right, let's put some female characters in fighting games. And then all of a sudden, I don't like that you can use a male fighter to beat up a female fighter. Bitch, you can use literally any character to beat up any character. That's how fighting games work. So basically their mindset is women should be part of the action as long as they don't get hurt as much as the males do.
What kind of shit is that?
They can be the ones dishing out the ass whooping, but the second that a Videl at the World Tournament incident happens, now they doing too much. As if the male characters don't get put through that same level of brutality literally all the time. Hell, in the first Broly movie, Broly used this nigga Goku's whole midsection as a trampoline, bro.
It's not about Videl being the girl though.
Why the fuck you lying?
Nigga, cut the cap. It's got everything to do with her being a girl. I don't care what kind of arguments you would try to make.
Nah, it's cause she was trying to surrender and old boy just kept beating her ass.
If Videl was male, you would have just been like,
Oh no. Anyway,
now you see, personally, I don't mind female characters being in the same brutal scenarios as male characters. Cause I mean, if they're gonna be part of the action, it only makes sense. If I'm playing Tekken Force and I don't watch the floor with a bunch of male Zaibatsu guards, you think I'ma suddenly just take it easy and start pulling my punches cause some of them guards happen to be female?
Alright, you next? What you mean I'm next? I mean, you about to get what he got. No, I'm not. You about to get what he got.
They know exactly what they signed up for. Hell, they've been trained for this shit. They gonna catch every bit of work that the other niggas caught. Anyway, tangent over. A lot of the people who love to point the finger about what's offensive and unacceptable are usually a bunch of self-righteous, pretentious, inconsistent, self-contradicting hypocrites who don't even follow their own advice. They're not anti-sexism, just anti-misogyny. Because according to them, sexism is perfectly fine as long as it's misandry. They're not anti-racism. They just don't want their race being targeted because racism is hilarious, it's not real, and it's not that big of a deal until it's your turn. They're not anti-bullying. They just don't want specific people that they don't want being bullied to not be bullied, etc, etc. But see, the real way that this works is like this. If you're gonna be against something, you have to be against that shit all the way. You can't just not be okay with the parts that you don't like personally. See, people with that selective sense of morality and selective outrage are the main reason for why I will never fear criticism for my own material, specifically within my comics. It's why I will never shy away from making certain jokes or having certain content or subject matter present in anything that I put out. Because like I said, not everyone who's mad about something is mad about it because of moral reasons, but because it doesn't coincide with their own biases and worldviews. Now, there are some people who have legitimate, honest gripes about something because something actually does bother them, but that ain't who I'm talking about. 9 times out of 10, the people complaining and supposedly outraged about shit are usually these other blockheaded motherfuckers who want to jump out of their skin to try to vilify someone because they made a joke or had some material that they didn't like. And it's like, dog, I've seen the sick shit that makes you laugh, and I've seen the sick shit that makes you feel hot and bothered in your nether regions.
You think I give a shit about you not liking me? Fuck off.
You think after I done witnessed your true colors that I'm suddenly gonna be worried about being judged by the likes of you? You raggedy bitch? You want to catch yourself trying to check me for laughing at some shit that was nowhere near as messed up as the shit that had yo ass laughing hard enough for a little fart to slip out? You think a dude getting his ass took is just the funniest shit in the world, but somehow I'm a villain for laughing at a wheelchair joke?
eat a dick, nigga.
Now don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that I'm trying to be one of those people who's gonna make it their business to try to be as edgy and offensive as they can possibly be so they can see how many people they can piss off. Matter of fact, my entire argument isn't even in defense of people who are mad that they can't be openly racist or just be an overall menace to society without any consequences. I'm just saying I'm not about to walk on eggshells with my material.
So I do what the fuck I want, cause nobody can finish me.
Because I know exactly what my intentions are and what I'm trying to convey, and anyone who may feel some type of way about my material but might want some clarity on what it is that I was trying to say by portraying something in the story or having a scene play out a certain way is real simple. You want some clarity, just ask what was the overall point of what I was trying to say. You ain't gotta agree with everything I'm saying. This is just my own perspective. You're free to disagree all you want to. There's a reason I don't turn off the comment section. Now, I'm not saying that people don't have the right to be offended and state their gripes about something. What I'm saying is that something that's subjective is not objectively bad just because it's not your cup of tea. Some people have an issue with polygamy. Does that mean that it's a bad thing just because of their dislike of it? No. Not to mention, you would have to ask the question, is it bad because it's actually a bad thing, or is it bad because you personally have a problem with it? Is it actually wrong to eat animals, or do you just want to insist that it's wrong because you want everyone to be a vegan like yourself? Another thing to mention is just because some people are criticizing something publicly doesn't mean that that's also how they feel privately. Some people will say that a character like Riley Freeman is inappropriate, offensive, and shouldn't be present in any kind of narrative ever. But behind closed doors, when nobody's around, they be laughing their ass off at everything that Riley says damn near. It's not unlike how some dudes will swear up and down that they hate fat women, but for some reason never stop talking about them no matter what the topic of the conversation is. I'm so sick and tired of these old snack catalog having big back bitches, light skin outer body, dark skin inner thighs ass bitch. I wouldn't smash a fat bitch with my worst enemy's beef. But then lo and behold, guess who one day comes skipping and hopping down the street with a broad built like first form Janemba? I'm just saying, people saying one thing publicly but believing something entirely different privately is not unheard of or uncommon. Let's not act like plenty of us haven't on several occasions bore witness to somebody getting verbally jumped in a comment section for having an opinion that you low-key agree with but won't say out loud. And no, I ain't talking about the most sick-ass degenerates that be saying shit like,
I mean, honestly, I don't think genocide is all that bad. Or, you know, sometimes I wish they lower the age of consent to like at least 12 or some shit.
I'm talking about a dude who'll say something like, hey look man, I'm just saying, if a woman expects her man to pay for her homegirl's food and drinks, he may as well wife up the homegirl's too then. Now, back to the business at hand. Could past media be made today? I'd say it could be. Maybe not every single thing because some things are just unacceptable by any standards. There's certain things that should just simply never be made. Like for example, that one disturbing ass anime that was trending on TikTok for a while. There are things that are subjectively bad and inappropriate, and then there are things that are objectively bad and inappropriate. For example, sexualizing children is objectively bad. Doesn't matter the culture, the country, or the time period. There is no possible way to try to justify a child being in a sexual scenario and trying to pass it off as something good. Fat jokes, on the other hand, subjectively bad. Why? Because it usually depends on the crowd and who's being talked about. It's not all that different than if you and your siblings or your homies go back and forth roasting each other. It's all well and good because y'all know these are just jokes, y'all just messing around. But it'll be a completely different story if someone that you don't know and aren't all that close with tries to join in, or they start laughing just a little too hard. It's the same way with race jokes. Not racist jokes, race jokes. Believe it or not, there is a difference. Things like 90s and early 2000s Wayans Brothers movies and other things like The Chappelle Show had plenty of dark humor, and many will say that it was funny as hell. But see, the thing about dark humor is that a lot of people who try their hand at it usually suck. Not everyone can do dark humor because oftentimes do people think it's about simply saying something that's messed up or offensive in an attempt to be edgy and then expecting everybody to laugh. But nah, there's a formula to these types of things. There has to be a method to the madness. You can't just walk up on stage and be like,
hey, felt firm, motherfucker, dick, pussy, snot, and shit. Good night.
The thing that many misunderstand about the concept of edginess is the fact that edgy, at least in this context, just means something along the lines of pushing boundaries, treading uncharted territory, or something being unusual in a way that's fashionable, interesting, or exciting. It's pretty much in the same sense as being risky or daring. But many people who try to do edgy humor or edgy content just like to use the concept of edginess as an excuse to do or say some of the most disrespectful, distasteful, out-of-pocket things they can think of, and they tend to think that this is somehow brave or challenging to the norm, when really that couldn't be further from the truth. Let's keep it a stack. It's people out here who have a lot of weirdo shit that they wish that they could say honestly and bluntly, but they know that they can't. So instead, they'll say some really messed up, out-of-pocket shit and then try to dress it up as a joke as if that's gonna get them out of trouble. There's a difference between making race jokes and saying racist shit and then thinking that a just kidding is supposed to cover it. Kinda like how you have some dudes who say some of the most suspect shit you've ever heard, but they think they can just smooth it over with a
I said no homo though.
Nah, nigga, that ain't how this works. You can't pause absolute zest. That shit ain't covered by no homo insurance. A skilled comedian can make a joke about, let's say, I don't know, self-harm for example, and it could be hella funny. But then someone who's not nearly as skilled can try to make a joke about something like domestic abuse and it'll fall flat because it was either poorly written or poorly executed or both. Now, as far as other things made in the past, they could be made today, but they would probably have to be updated a bit. specifically when it comes to jokes, because there's certain things about certain movies, right, that'll make the material come off as being very dated, specifically with things like pop culture references, right? A lot of the times pop culture references are only funny and relevant to the decade and generation that they were made in. People who aren't around during that time simply won't find the humor in them, no matter how well written or delivered the joke is. The stuff that's relevant to Gen Z right now is not going to be very relevant to the generations that show up like 50 years from now. So a different set of jokes would have to be made for that specific generation of people. Now, is there a such thing as going too far? Yes, that has always been a thing regardless of what era of media you want to talk about. Are some people these days just overly sensitive about things? It depends. Now, some things definitely deserve the outrage that they get, like that cuties bullshit on Netflix, or that one show that the old Game of Thrones showrunners were pitching about what if the Confederate won the Civil War, or that goofy ass American Society of Magical Negroes movie, or even that black comedian who made that joke about George Floyd and had hella black people walk out of the show in the middle of his act. But then there are also times when some people try to make a situation seem worse than what it actually is, like people who take a situation and try to cry racism or sexism or some other kind of ism when that is quite clearly not even the case. There's people on the internet who literally just sit around all day outraging about pretty much everything that they see. There was some goofy ass people not too long ago mad about that Japanese McDonald's ad, and add that most people who watched it had no issue with it and couldn't understand what the hell these people were so mad about. You see, there's people that say that stuff like cancel culture really isn't a thing, and I honestly have to say that I do agree. Now, there are examples of famous people being taken to court or sent to prison or meant to pay hefty fines because they were not only accused, but there's proof that they did something very inappropriate, like sexual harassment or abuse of power. That right there isn't cancel culture as far as I'm concerned. That's just consequences for your actions. Things like free will and freedom of speech are very real, but so are laws. There have always been penalties for doing or saying things that could literally get you in trouble with the law. I'm talking about stuff like yelling out fire in a movie theater, yelling bomb on an airplane, or making threats to the president. That type of stuff is flat out illegal because it can result in chaotic scenarios that can lead to mass panic, people getting hurt, or even people just flat out getting killed in the midst of all that chaos, all because somebody wanted to play a stupid ass game like that. Now, on the flip side, there are situations where companies part ways with an individual because of an accusation, or there's been bad press around them. I personally think that's just an example of a company having no backbone and wait until the facts come to the light before they end up cutting ties with someone or not. Prime examples of this being Johnny Depp. Depp gets accused of being abusive towards Amber Heard, got dropped for Fantastic Beasts, and a whole bunch of other shit. Only to find out that the real guilty parties were the same people that the media and many people on the internet swore up and down were actually innocent and victims. I mean, like, yo, Amber straight up cut dude's finger off, shot a deuce on his bed, the whole nine, yet she still gets to be an Aquaman. And then you got the whole Ezra Miller messy ass situation where he was on camera throwing a woman to the ground and even got hit with kidnapping and all kinds of other debaucherous shit. But this nigga still got to be Flash. So I guess so-called cancel culture is also selective with who should get quote-unquote canceled. But anyway, there are famous people who've said or done very questionable things that they should definitely be held accountable for. But then you have the other side where people will hear celebrities say something that wasn't at all vile or mean-spirited. It just struck a nerve for certain people. There's a big difference between saying something offensive and just saying something that somebody took offense to. Saying racial slurs is offensive. Saying that you're not a fan of a certain basketball team just might make someone who is a fan feel some type of way. Now, the singer AKIRA got some angry eyes on her because a little while ago she had the audacity to say that men are supposed to protect women. Now, I personally don't see how that's problematic or misogynistic. That's just a fact. I mean, but it's funny that they'll say that she's misogynistic for saying that men are supposed to protect women, but then when there's a weird ass situation like this one with these unhinged ass niggas going around randomly punching women in the face, these same goofy ass people be all up under the comments talking about, why don't men protect women anymore? Motherfucker, make your damn mind up. Should men protect women, or do women got this shit covered? Or is it that you only want men to actually be men when it's for your convenience? But that's a whole nother video, if I ever care to make that one. Probably won't. Anyway, now there is a such thing as not being allowed on certain platforms, and that's because depending on what something is, it might not align with the brand of that platform. Game of Thrones could definitely be made today. I mean, it only ended like, what, 4 or 5 years ago. However, it could never be aired on something like the BBC network or the History Channel. It would only be suitable for a platform like Starz or HBO because those platforms would actually allow the display of the content that Game of Thrones presents. You could never see a show like The Boys or Invincible on Disney+, but you can see them on Amazon though. You couldn't see the Boondocks on G4 TV, back when that was still a thing, but you can definitely see it on Adult Swim. I mean, come on son, South Park has been controversial and offensive since its inception, and they've thrown jabs at pretty much every category possible. I'm not saying that every joke that they make lands. I'm just saying that that cartoon is the very embodiment of offensive media, and even in the 2020s, it's still ongoing. To go back to the Boys show, right? Which, real quick, I want to say is a perfect example of an adaptation being vastly superior to the source material. But anyway, many people have said every terrible thing about this show and why it shouldn't have been made or why it should be canceled. And yet, it's one of the best shows not only on Amazon, but in current media, period. And for all the people who thinks that the Boys live action show is doing too much and going too far, I ask you, read the comic. I promise it is 100 times way worse than the show by a long shot. At least a live action show has a narrative and the characters feel like actual characters. Whereas the comic book, edginess for the sake of edginess. I promise your ass ain't ready for it. Could the Boondocks be made today? Most def. I mean, assuming they still have something to say. That and the people who made the show as funny and as dope as it is are involved with the project. I mean, come on son, with all the stuff from this year alone, never mind the first 3 years of the 2020s, just with this year alone, they would have hella material to work with to bring the show into the modern day. But see, the thing is, anything that's well written and executed well enough can definitely be successful even in today's time of so-called cancel culture. Just because some people don't think the Boondocks is funny and find it rather offensive and problematic doesn't mean that the Boondocks is objectively not funny or not a good show. It just means it ain't for them, and that's perfectly fine. Everything is not for everyone. Everyone is not for everyone. Just because you don't like tall women doesn't mean that tall women are suddenly unattractive. In Living Color, the PJs, the Boondocks, Chappelle Show, etc., could definitely work in today's time, assuming it has all the right people behind it. I personally believe that Eddie Murphy could definitely have done Delirious in Raw in today's day and age. Maybe he would have to tweak a few jokes here and there, you know, to match it up with today's time, but other than that, I do think he could actually pull it off, because even then, he was telling jokes that are still quite relevant in today's day and age. I mean, don't get me wrong, he definitely gets some backlash for it, but even then he got backlash. Like, I don't think there was ever a point in time from the 80s up until now where backlash wasn't a thing. I honestly think Rush Hour could also be made today, but I just think it would be a different movie, because with every decade comes different trends, you know, different material to make jokes about. That's why I honestly think it's a good thing that certain things did come out at the time that they did, because they wouldn't be the same thing if they were to be a brand new concept that had just come out in today's day and age. Like many have said before, comedy or just quality in general, for the most part, is subjective. Just because some people won't find a joke funny doesn't mean the joke isn't funny. The point isn't to try to make people who aren't interested in something take interest in it. It's to find the audience that'll vibe with the material that's being presented.
Man, anything can survive with respect. You can put anybody in a room full of killers. If they got respect, they're gonna walk out that motherfucker better than the next man that didn't have respect.
Worrying about offending people and getting canceled is pointless, because there is no possible way to avoid offending anybody, even if you mean well, right? I'm talking about no ill intentions whatsoever. You cannot avoid offending at least one motherfucker on the internet. You could be speaking nothing but straight facts, and somebody will still get in their feelings because some people got beef with the truth. Thinking that you can avoid offending someone on the internet is like thinking that there's a such thing as a YouTube video with all likes and 0 dislikes. So-called cancel culture is really something that's only as real as people want to believe that it is. If you actually care about what people on Twitter think, then yeah, as far as you're concerned, the whole world is out to get you. And one of the worst things that you could ever do for your mental health is 1, caring about what they think, 2, thinking that these are a bunch of morally well-adjusted, let alone sane people that are judging, and 3, thinking that these people were ever your friends. I mean, you can try to be down with them, but they'll eventually cannibalize your ass at the first hiccup. Hell, they do it to each other literally all the time. Even the most legitimately wholesome people will get targeted by them, even if they did or said nothing wrong. It's motherfuckers out here who will try to vilify somebody like Corey Kenshin, because I don't know, maybe he made a joke in one of his videos that they didn't like too tough. Bro doesn't even cuss, let alone try to be offensive, and even this dude ain't safe from the stupid shit. But see, here's the thing, right? Whenever you decide to present some material to a public forum, it's just as open to criticism and being hated by some people as it is open to being praised and appreciated by other people. Somebody will not like your material. Doesn't matter what you do or say or what the intention was. Somebody is gonna feel some type of way about the material that you presented.
It is, of course, the way of all things.
See, here's the thing. Once you realize that not everybody is gonna vibe with your material, it is one of the most freeing realizations that you'll ever have. There are people who are just gonna come up with their own interpretations of something that you presented, even if they're the most ridiculously delusional interpretations that someone can make, and they'll try to make an argument against you according to that. If you decide to make jokes or create a story that's about or even touches on sensitive subject matter, even if you do your absolute due diligence and you approach it with respect, you will be criticized. Somebody's gonna be offended. Somebody's gonna misinterpret the intent of the material. Or they'll just flat out dislike the story or you, or both. It's an unavoidable thing that simply comes with the territory. Some people will flat out miss the point that's being made, or it'll go right over their smooth ass brain. Some people will get in their feelings because they don't like how the story ended. They don't like that you didn't write the story how they wanted you to write it. You didn't have enough female characters. You didn't make most of the cast female. You didn't make the entire cast female. You killed off a fan favorite. You didn't center the story around that fan favorite. You didn't give them their own spin-off series. You showed some fan service. You didn't show enough fan service. You didn't pander to someone's fetish or their politics or their identity or their feelings. You didn't pander to someone's delusions or their biases. You didn't validate someone's fucked up worldview. You didn't canonize their headcanon. You dared to let your characters have traits and flaws that keep them from being 100% likable and relatable. You have villains who behave like actual villains instead of misunderstood anti-heroes. You made the female characters a little bit too attractive. You didn't ship characters someone wanted to be shipped together. You have female characters who are both strong and feminine at the same time, and they have flaws and vulnerabilities instead of being this perfect Mary Sue that everyone just so happens to like all the time. You didn't check off enough boxes, didn't have enough disabled characters, didn't have enough white characters, you didn't have enough fat people. You dared to touch on some real world topics or have some deep stuff happen when some people just wanted some turn your brain off mindless fun. Whatever the case may be, something is not going to sit right with somebody. Now see, personally, I think so long as the intent is to tell jokes, or in this specific case, tell a narrative or make a piece of art with the purpose of trying to entertain or engage people in a dialogue or be thought-provoking in some kind of way, and your intention isn't to try to be offensive or to try to troll and attack people or do or say something out of pocket for the sake of shock value or trying to promote and push some kind of immoral agenda, then I honestly think there are many things within media done in the past that could definitely be done today. It's really just a question of who's brave enough to actually walk that path. You see, Japan pretty much does their own thing when it comes to their media, be it movies, TV shows, anime, video games, you name it, right? Especially when it comes to how women are designed to look in video games and anime. A lot of Western developers be like, we're not going to design female characters to be all voluptuous and sexy looking. And then Japanese developers be in the cut talking about, who the hell's we? You mean you ain't going to design female characters to be all voluptuous and sexy? I'ma do what I do. Either y'all gonna roll with us or not. Because like I said, if something is well written, well structured, and it's executed and done in a tasteful way, you can definitely have a story that involves darker things, like the stuff that you'll see in a seinen manga that you're less likely to see in a shonen manga. You can show things that are outside of the realm of what people are used to seeing. Like for example, old boy Tengen from Demon Slayer having 3 wives. You can have a show like The Boys or The Boondocks in today's time and have it be very successful. Because if something is good, then it's good. If 990 of the 1,000 people in the room are vibing with something, then I don't see the use in stressing over the 10 people who hated it. Should people shy away from touching on sensitive topics or other dark subject matter, or even just things that are outside of the norm within narratives, just because someone might get offended or because some morons might intentionally misinterpret what the story or even the characters within the story were trying to say?
Hell no!
Fiction oftentimes borrows from real life. People always want to say that stories and characters within them should feel real and believable, but why should there be an exception when it comes to stories that touch on sensitive and darker themes, or characters who have character flaws that may not necessarily make them evil, but makes them come off as not being 100% likable? Everybody wants a character who's not perfect and has a bunch of flaws until those imperfections go beyond simply just not always making the right decision or maybe getting angry sometimes. Some people hated the fact that Sokka was sexist in the earlier parts of Avatar: The Last Airbender, but that doesn't mean that it shouldn't have been part of his character. It was part of his development as a person. Not to mention, It's not like the story was trying to say that it's okay to be sexist. It's showing that Sokka is a flawed character. He's not evil, he's just not perfect. Something like that shouldn't be left out just because some people won't like it or because somebody might get the wrong idea about what the story is trying to say. Some people would even say that having elements like that in the story could give off the impression that the author is trying to pass something off as something that's okay, which of course I have to disagree. You see, the way I see it, the only way that you could actually say that some kind of immoral behavior or worldview is being co-signed by the author, at least in my personal opinion, is if there are no kinds of consequences for said behavior, or the characters who display that kind of behavior are not checked or challenged on that in any kind of way. Sokka being sexist is oftentimes challenged in the series, and by the time the squad leaves Kyoshi Island, Sokka is left with a noticeably different mindset towards women. Like, bro straight up grows into a different man by the time they leave. Another example I would say is the perverted character trope that exists in a lot of anime. Now see, if these kinds of characters are able to carry out their perversions but nothing ever happens to them, like nobody ever says anything about it, no one ever does anything to them, basically there are no kinds of consequences dealt to them in any way, then I would say you could have your suspicions that the author might be trying to justify or excuse or co-sign that kind of behavior. But in many animes, the perverted characters tend to get the absolute shit beaten out of them whenever they touch someone's ass or breasts. Well, unless the pervert is a woman, then it's usually just brushed off. But I would say Bleach is a perfect example of, nah, any pervert can catch these hands. Even though the ass whoopings are played for laughs, still, it shows that the characters in universe aren't just gonna put up with that type of behavior and just let it slide like it ain't no big deal. And quite frankly, I think there should be a lesson in that. If somebody's touching someone who doesn't want to be touched by them, then bust them in their shit. But regardless, there are still people who will hate the fact that characters like that are even in the story in the first place. And you know what? That's perfectly fine. People are free to complain and dislike what they dislike. If they don't want to stick around because of factors like that, then so be it. You can't expect everyone who boards the train to stay on until the last stop. But that does not mean that we should exclude darker themes from narratives just because somebody might get triggered by it. That's what trigger warnings are for. And if somebody decides to ignore trigger warnings, that's on them. Plenty of media has warnings that if depictions of such and such is too much for you, then it might not be for you. Now, some people will heed that warning and just go elsewhere, but there's other people who will just flat out ignore the warning and tune in anyway, and then complain that something triggered them. I mean, you could have just not watched it, but you tuned in anyway because your ass wanted to be nosy. Now, like I said, my entire argument is more so in favor of those who may want to create certain narratives or present certain material, but fear the backlash that might come from it. People who aren't trying to be detestable in the hopes of garnering negative attention, but are worried that some people might get the wrong idea and perceive them as the villain. As stated before, if you're not trying to be offensive, you're not trying to promote or glorify something that's immoral or harmful, then just create the story. Just tell the joke. Just make the piece of art. You're going to make some enemies here and there. You're gonna be labeled as something undesirable, something that you know damn well does not apply to you, because there are people who will simply sample a little bit of your work and then assume the worst. If you're a man who likes to draw curvy and thick women, somebody's gonna try to say that you're trying to objectify women. I mean, hell, you could be a woman who draws women like that, and people will say the same thing about you too. Just focus on finding your own audience. Focus on finding your own tribe. Now, as for those who are trying to be as obnoxious and be as offensive in the hopes that enough people will be pissed off at them as to where you're not only famous for pissing people off, but you think that that somehow makes you cool or seem like a hero who's going against the grain. All I can say is, every bit of vitriol that comes your way, can't say you wasn't asking for it. If you want to call yourself a comedian and then go on stage spewing a bunch of racial slurs, then call people soft for not laughing, that's on you. If you want to be one of those clown ass YouTube pranksters who thinks going around fucking with people is the joke, knock yourself out. I mean, shit, if you try the right person, they might do that for you. You see, the difference between someone who bumps into someone by accident and someone who's trying to bump into people on purpose, only one of y'all deserves to get punched in the face. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents. Let me know what y'all think and we can chop it up in the comment section. Peace.